Well, here we are on day 21. It is recording this for Friday, and again we continue into Job, and it's as I anticipated. It's a difficult read for me, and I've actually read this one several times, just seeking what nuggets that God would had to share with me through the reading. Um, as I searched for what God had to say to me today, I received the following Max Lucado devotional in an email, and I wanted to share that as I began to share my thoughts on today's reading. It was entitled "The Purpose in Our Pain," and again, I thought that was very appropriate in what we are reading about in Job today, and continue on through the rest of this month. In Philippians 2:17 it says, "But I will rejoice even if I lose my life, pouring it out like a liquid offering to God, just like your faithful service is an offering to God. And I want all of you to share that joy." Let me read that again. It's out of Philippians 2:17. It says, "But I will rejoice even if I lose my life, pouring it out like a liquid offering to God, just like your faithful service is an offering to God. And I want all of you to share that joy." And he goes on to write, "When we face struggles, we often wonder why. Years from now, though, we may realize that it was those struggles that taught us something we could not have otherwise learned, that there was a purpose in our pain." Those are hard words just to wrap your mind around. Purpose in our pain. But God's purpose is greater than our pain, and He has a greater purpose than our problems. Though I've never faced the magnitude of loss as Job, I can testify to times in my life that God has used struggles in my life to prepare me for where I am today. For me, they were times of wandering in the desert, like the Israelites, though I was never alone in my journey because God was with me all along the way. Those difficult times, they were difficult times, but my strength to endure came from the Lord. Job did not understand what he was learning about God along the way. His picture of God is different at the beginning of this book than what we see at the end. And we will see that in the coming days as God begins to respond back to Job. I also find myself wondering as we started reading this, what happened to Job's worship. We go from one who falls before God and worships to one who says, "Curse the day I was born." I just find that interesting that as he continues to, in his affliction, that he no longer appears to be worshiping God as he did when all of this began. We know that Job was one who feared God. God even says that, where is the hope for those who are lost? Those who refuse to believe. Where's their hope? In Job 8:16 and 8:18, it talks about the lost who appear to have everything. It's those that we look at and think, man, they've got it made, they've got it all. They just, life's so good for them. And this is what it says in Job 8. "The godless seem like a lush plant, but when it is uprooted, it's as though it never existed." Jesus teaches about the seed and the shallow soil, and again, the godless seem like they've got it all together, but when times get tough, it's as if they never existed. Because without God, it as if they never were. Even in his misery, Job talks about how disgusted he is with his life. Let me complain freely, he says in Job 10. I really, struggled yesterday through the thought process of the complaint before Job, and I came across something that I had read out of a Bill Hybels book called The Land Between, and it talks about there being a difference between complaining and an honest expression of our feelings before God. God invites us to be honest with Him. Honesty with God is productive and healing, but there is a fine line between honesty and complaint. We need to recognize our souls are very vulnerable during these times. Times of trials and afflictions in our lives may produce our greatest opportunities for transformational growth, but it also provides an enormous opportunity for bitter resentment to flourish, for faith to shrivel. How can we know if we're complaining or being honest with God? It's all in the heart. I think we have to spend time examining our heart and the deep meanings about our conversations with our Lord. I want to just invite you as we finish this week. I will not be doing a video, as I've told you in the past, through the weekends. That's a time that I can share with my wife and my family, and hopefully it may be this weekend even with my granddaughter. And I invite you to go to the blog link provided at the top of the web page and just share what God might be doing and revealing to you through the reading of His Word, especially through these trials of Job. Take a minute to share with others. It's interesting to see how God speaks to us differently through the same readings. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you Monday as we journey through the Word.